Why do you keep doing the thing you swore you'd quit? The cigarette, the doom scroll, the same wrong turn at the same intersection even though you moved 6 months ago. Your brain knows better, so why does it keep running the old program? Scientists just found the answer. And it's not willpower, it's a chemical. Researchers tracking mice through a virtual maze were trying to figure out the exact moment a brain decides to stop being a creature of habit. They wanted to catch the switch, the instant where an animal abandons what used to work and tries something new. And they found it. They watched it happen in real time. Here's what they saw. The mice would run the maze, expecting a reward at a familiar spot. Same place, same payoff, routine. Then the scientists pulled the rug. The reward didn't show up. And in that exact second of disappointment, something flooded the brain. A neurotransmitter called acetylcholine surge. Not when things went well, not when the reward arrived, only when the expectation collapsed. That chemical wave is what made the mice flexible. After the surge, they were dramatically more likely to try a new strategy, new path, new choice. New version of themselves, basically. Now here's the part that should make you sit up. The scientists then blocked acetylcholine. Same mice, same maze, same disappointment. But without that chemical signal, the mice just kept doing the old thing, over and over, banging their tiny heads against a reward that wasn't coming back. They became stuck, rigid, trapped in a loop they couldn't see out of. Sound familiar? Because that's the architecture of every bad habit you've ever had. Your brain runs a prediction. The prediction fails. And in that tiny gap between what you expected and what actually happened, your brain decides whether to update or to double down. Acetylcholine is the update signal. It's the chemical equivalent of your brain whispering, hey, that didn't work. Maybe try something else. Without it, you're a mouse in a maze pawing at an empty spot, sure that the cheese is about to reappear any second now. Think about what that means for you. Every time you've stuck with a job that drained you, a relationship that hollowed you out, a routine that stopped serving you years ago. That wasn't laziness, that wasn't a character flaw, that was a chemical conversation in your brain that didn't quite land the right way. And it gets weirder. The trigger isn't success, it isn't reward, it isn't pleasure, it's disappointment. The brain only learns to change when something it counted on falls through. Read that again. Disappointment is the catalyst for growth. The thing that feels like failure is actually the precise neurological moment your brain becomes capable of evolving. We've been telling ourselves the wrong story for a long time. We treat disappointment like a wound, something to medicate, distract from, scroll past. But your brain treats it like an invitation, a door cracking open, a chance to rewire. When you blunt that disappointment, when you reach for the phone, the drink, the snack, the reassurance from a friend who tells you everything's fine, you might be muting the exact signal your brain needs to break the pattern. That's the unsettling implication of the study. Comfort in the wrong moment is its own kind of trap. It papers over the acetylcholine surge before it can do its job. The mice that adapted weren't the smart ones. They were the ones whose brains were allowed to register the gap, the miss, the letdown. They got to feel the absence of the reward and let that feeling do the work. Now think about your own life with that lens. The last time you felt that particular sting of an expectation that didn't pay off, maybe a message that didn't come, a plan that fell apart, a goal you missed by an embarrassing margin. Your instinct was probably to escape that feeling as fast as possible, but your brain was lit up, chemically primed, ready to consider, for maybe the first time in months, that the old approach isn't working, and you scrolled past it. This is why people repeat the same mistakes across decades. It's not that they're not smart enough to see the pattern, it's that they never sat with the disappointment long enough to let the chemical do its work. They reached for relief before they reached for revision. There's a strange kind of permission in this research. Permission to let things hurt a little, permission to not immediately fix the feeling, because the feeling is the fix, the discomfort is the mechanism. Now a fair caveat. This study was done in mice navigating a maze, not humans navigating careers and relationships and 10-year plans. The brains are wildly similar in their basic chemistry, but the leap from rodent maze to human life is a leap. The researchers showed the signal exists and what it does at the cellular level. They didn't prescribe a self-help plan. Still, the mechanism is real, the chemical is real. The surge at the moment of failed expectation is documented. And once you know it's there, you start to notice it. That little jolt when something doesn't go your way, that micro flinch, that's not just emotion. That's acetylcholine telling your prefrontal cortex it's time to think again. The question is whether you listen. Most people don't. Most people treat that signal like noise. They override it, they explain it away, they tell themselves the reward will come next time if they just stay the course. And sometimes that's true, sometimes persistence is the right call, but sometimes the maze has changed, the cheese has moved, the job isn't coming back, the person isn't going to text. The strategy that worked for 20 years stopped working sometime last spring, and nobody sent you a memo. Your brain sent you a memo, it sent it in acetylcholine, you just have to be still enough to read it. There's something almost poetic about this discovery. We spend so much energy chasing dopamine, the reward chemical, the pleasure rush. We design our entire lives around getting more of it. But the chemical that actually sets you free isn't the one that shows up when you win. It's the one that shows up when you lose. Acetylcholine is the chemistry of changing your mind. And changing your mind, it turns out, might be the most underrated skill a human brain can have. The mice with the working signal escaped the old pattern. The mice without it stayed stuck. Same brains, same maze, same disappointment, different chemistry, different fate. So the next time something doesn't go the way you planned, before you reach for the distraction, before you numb the sting, try this. Sit in it for 10 seconds longer than feels comfortable. Let your brain notice the gap. Let the signal fire. Because that uncomfortable little moment you keep trying to escape might be the only door your brain ever opens. And every time you close it early, you stay in the maze.